You ready? Let's learn some math. Math, 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 math. Math, 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 math.
Come, take a journey with us each Monday from 5:30 p.m. on ABS TV. Let's get to the heart of the matter. Math matters.
Welcome back to Math Matters. We are happy that you have chosen to continue our math journey with us. We do trust that you have been sending in your answers to mathmatters268@gmail.com. Remember, there are prizes to be won at the end of the season, so please send in your answers. Before we delve into trigonometry this week, let us take a look at our challenge question from last week. It reads, triangle ABC has coordinates A, -3, 3, B, -4, 1, C, -1, 3. A says translate triangle ABC using the vector 4, -2 and label the triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So let's translate our triangle. We'll first move coordinate A 4 spaces to the right on the x-axis and 2 spaces down on the y-axis. Coordinate C, 4 spaces to the right on the x-axis and 2 spaces down on the y-axis. Coordinate B, 4 spaces right on the x-axis, and 2 spaces down on the y-axis. Here we have translated our triangle, and we have A prime, which is 1, 1, C, 3, 1, and B, 0, -1. B, reflect triangle A prime, B prime, C prime in the line y equals 2 and label the triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Give the coordinates of A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Let us insert our mirror line, that is y equals 2. Remember, when reflecting an image, the image must be the equal distance from the mirror line. So let us reflect coordinate B. Coordinate B is the 3 units on the y-axis from the mirror line. So therefore, it will be 3 units above the mirror line on the y-axis. A, 1 unit from the mirror line, so let us reflect coordinate A prime. And C is 1 unit from the mirror line. Let's reflect C prime. Here we have reflected our image, A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. A double prime coordinates are 1, 3, B, 0, 5, and C, 3, 3. Here we have completed the question. I'm sure you got that same answer. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Board of Education is responsible for the funding of scholarships, awards, and bursaries within Antigua and Barbuda. In keeping with our mandate, interested individuals who are citizens or nationals of Antigua and Barbuda are invited to apply. Application forms are available online at www.abboardofeducation.com and should be completed and submitted on or before the last working day in April of each year. Scholarships are available for those wishing to pursue an associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree locally, regionally, and internationally. Individuals reading for PhDs are also supported. We are the Board of Education. For more information, visit our website at www.abboardofeducation.com or call us today at 463-9025, 463-9026, 463-9027, or 463-9028.
Trigonometry, right angle triangles. Now, trigonometry refers to the finding of measurements of triangle, showing the relationships between angles and side lengths, especially the right angle. The right angle triangle has a 90-degree angle and two acute angles. However, we will be identifying the size of the triangle, which is necessary for what we will be doing in trigonometry. The hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. When given an angle, the adjacent is the side next to the given angle, and the opposite is the side from the given angle. But if the given angle has changed, then the opposite and adjacent also changes. Remember, the adjacent is the side next to the given angle, and the opposite is the side across from the given angle. Pythagoras theorem. The sum of the squares of the sides on a right angle triangle, the opposite and adjacent, is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. So let's call the hypotenuse C and the opposite and adjacent A and B. Therefore, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So the sum of the opposite and adjacent squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. Let us go to a construction site and see Pythagoras theorem in action.
I've been doing this all my life. I wonder how Pythagoras can play a part. I wonder what's the distance from the bottom of the wall to the top of the ladder.
As we just saw on the construction site, the contractor, Mr. Brown, had a ladder leaning against a wall. Here, we have a replica. Our contractor, Mr. Brown, extended a ladder 10 feet from the floor to reach the top of the wall. He knows that the distance underground from the bottom of the ladder is 8 feet to the wall. What is the distance from the bottom of the wall to the top of the ladder? Let us use Pythagoras theorem to solve that problem. Now, the ladder, the 10 feet, that would be our hypotenuse. And our hypotenuse is always opposite of the right angle. In Pythagoras theorem, we don't really need to name the opposite and adjacent angles, but we need to use the dimensions to find the lengths of the sides. So, since 10 feet is our hypotenuse, that would be our C squared. And we will now substitute the theorem A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. A squared would be X squared plus 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. Let us simplify. X squared plus 64 is equal to 100. Now, in linear equations, we're going to be using the balancing method. We're going to be grouping like terms together. So, we will take 64 across, and that will become minus 64 from 100. So therefore, we will also minus 64 from the left-hand side of the equation. So x squared plus 64 is equal to x squared plus 64 minus 64, is equal to 100 minus 64. So x squared is equal to 36. Remember, the square of any number is that number multiplied by itself. So therefore, to find what x is, we will have to find the square root of x and equally find the square root of 36. Whatever is done on one side must be done on the other side of the equal sign of the equation. So the square root of x squared and 36 is equal to 6 feet. When we multiply 6 by 6, we get 36. When we multiply x by x, we get x squared. So the square root of x squared and 36 is x equals 6 feet. As we continue with trigonometry, we'll be looking at our trigonometric ratios. Many have seen on your calculators these abbreviations: sine, cosine, tangent, SIN, COS, tangent, and above them you might see SIN -1, COS -1, and TAN -1. These are called the inverse of these ratios. Please bear that in mind because it will be needed to solve one of these questions later. So our trigonometric ratios, we now will take into consideration the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse. Our first trigonometric ratio is our sine rule, which is SOH, which means sine of the angle is equal to opposite divided by adjacent, or opposite, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, that will be the cosine of the angle is equal to adjacent divided by hypotenuse, or adjacent over hypotenuse. And our last one is tangent. That is, tangent is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. Remember, sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent. SOH, CAH, TOA. SOHCAHTOA. Sine, opposite hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent hypotenuse, and tangent, opposite adjacent. We will take a short break and then head back to the construction site where we will see trigonometric ratios in real life. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
The Board of Education is responsible for the funding of scholarships, awards, and bursaries within Antigua and Barbuda. In keeping with our mandate, interested individuals who are citizens or nationals of Antigua and Barbuda are invited to apply. Application forms are available online at www.abboardofelucation.com and should be completed and submitted on or before the last working day in April of each year. Scholarships are available for those wishing to pursue an associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree locally, regionally, and internationally. Individuals reading for PhDs are also supported. We are the Board of Education. For more information, visit our website at www.abboardofelucation.com or call us today at 463-9025, 463-9026, 463-9027, or 463-9028.
Thank you, Miss Jacob, for opening mine eyes. For even in construction, with scaffolding and braces, it shows trigonometry. And we can see here, 1, 2, 3, that's triangle. 1, 2, 3, triangle. All my life, I didn't realize that trigonometry played a great role in construction.
Welcome back. As we have just seen in the video, Mr. Brown uses many braces in the framing of the building to create strength at a joint. These braces form a right angle. The brace, line AC, measures 6 feet. Line BC measures 3 feet. Therefore, since AC is opposite the right angle, that's the hypotenuse, and BC is opposite the given angle, that is our opposite. Which ratio contains opposite and hypotenuse? That would be the sine ratio. That is, the sine of the angle is equal to opposite divided by hypotenuse. So, to find the angle, we are going to use our sine ratio. The sine of the angle is our opposite divided by our hypotenuse, that is 3 divided by 6, which is 0.5. Then to find the angle, remember that inverse that I was telling you about, we're going to be using the inverse of the sine rule. On some calculators, you will have to use shift and the sine. Then you will get the inverse. So the inverse of 0.5 is 30 degrees. Therefore, angle A is equal to 30 degrees. Mr. Brown is really getting into trigonometry. He is going full force. Now, he wants to calculate the length of the wall from the floor to the top of the ladder. Using the given information, he should find the length using a ratio that applies. So let us take a look at the replica of the ladder against the wall. Our hypotenuse is 10 feet, and this time we are given an angle. For to apply a trigonometric ratio or a trig ratio, we need an angle. So the given angle is 36 degrees. Therefore, 8 feet is our adjacent side. We would have to apply a trig ratio that incorporates opposite and adjacent, or opposite and hypotenuse. Our first trig ratio we're going to look at is the tangent ratio. Remember, the tangent ratio is opposite divided by adjacent. Let us now substitute our formula. Tan or tangent of 36 degrees is equal to x divided by 8. The tangent of 36 degrees is 0.72654,258. On your calculator, this is an approximation, but these are the numbers you will see, and that will be equal to x divided by 8. Remember, we would like to make x the subject of our equation. So therefore, using the balancing method, we will multiply both sides by 8. Therefore, x will be equal to 5.812340.224. You might think this is long, but then you can approximate our answer to the nearest whole number, and that would be 6 feet. X is approximately 6 feet. Remember, when we did Pythagoras theorem, we still ended up with 6 feet. There we didn't need an angle, we just needed two sides, which we had. But remember, we also have the hypotenuse. Which ratio uses the hypotenuse? We can also use our sine ratio, and we substitute the same way. Sine is opposite divided by hypotenuse, so sine of angle 36 degrees is equal to 10 divided by x, which is x divided by 10, which is 0.58775253. Again, we need to make x the subject of our equation, so we multiply both sides by 10, which gives us 5.877852523. X, when we approximate it to the nearest whole number, will be 6 feet. So, Mr. Brown now knows he can use many ways to find the measurement of one side of a triangle, and even the angles, using our trig ratios and Pythagoras theorem. Remember, it is the relationship between the angles and the lines in a right angle triangle. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with our challenge question for this week.
The Board of Education is responsible for the funding of scholarships, awards, and bursaries within Antigua and Barbuda. In keeping with our mandate, interested individuals who are citizens or nationals of Antigua and Barbuda are invited to apply. Application forms are available online at www.abboardofeducation.com and should be completed and submitted on or before the last working day in April of each year. Scholarships are available for those wishing to pursue an associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree locally, regionally, and internationally. Individuals reading for PhDs are also supported. We are the Board of Education. For more information, visit our website at www.abboardofeducation.com or call us today at 463-9025, 463-9026, 463-9027, or 463-9028.
Welcome back. Our challenge question for this week reads, the diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows WXY and VYC are right-angled triangle. Angle WXY equals 40 degrees, WX equals 10 centimeters, VZ 8 centimeters, and XZ 15 centimeters. Calculate giving your answer correct to one decimal place. 1, the length of XY, and 2, the size of angle VZY. Remember to send your responses to mathmatters268@gmail.com. That is mathmatters268@gmail.com. Every Wednesday. By Wednesday. We await your responses. Join us next week when Mrs. Thornhill will present matrices. Thank you for joining us. Do have a pleasant evening.
Come, take a journey with us each Monday from 5:30 p.m. on ABS TV. Let's get to the heart of the matter. Math matters.